In this lecture, we are going to update the functionality for update profile picture upload. Currently what we have, we allow the user to choose a new profile picture. And then when they view their profile, we successfully display the profile picture. But when the user change their username, for example, we have demos here, then update is our username. You see that the profile picture is gone. We now display the default profile picture again. This is because we are hard coding the username to save the profile picture to a specific location. Okay, so the username in the database must always match the name of the profile picture that we specified. What we can now do is to make this more flexible. We are going to store the path to the picture which the user uploaded in the database so that we can always reference to that path instead of referencing to the username. So our first step will be to visit our users table that I have here, click on structures, and then let's delete the reset link because we are no longer making use of this here. And then for avatar, I'm going to select it and then click on change. We are going to set the default value to be equal to the default profile picture path. All right, so we can find that path inside of our past profile script. So this is the path to the default profile picture. I'm going to grab it and then just set the default value to be equal to that path. Save it. And then for the current user that we've created, we are just going to set equal to that path. All right, so step 2, let's now change the functionality here to get the value from the database instead of checking the specific folder. Okay, so I'm going to just copy this and then delete all of this. Then add one more here. This should be profile picture, should be equal to role of avatar. So now we are referencing the value from the database, although we are yet to update the script to populate this when the profile picture is being updated. But because we already set a default value for this feed, we are always going to be able to retrieve the default profile picture. So if we should refresh our page now, we should still be able to see the default profile picture showing. Right, we still have the default profile picture showing here. Our next step now will be to actually update the script that is used to process the profile picture upload. So go back here, and then right now we need to come down here to update profile btn. And then right here, you see what we are currently doing here, check if the user updated record in the database or profile picture was uploaded. We're not going to be doing it this way. I'm going to remove this from here. I'm just going to leave it here first. Okay, so put it here. So what we want to do here now is when we call this function to upload a profile picture for the user who is trying to update their profile, we want to be able to get the path. Okay, so we're going to say avatar underscore path should be equal to the path that we'll be returning here. So right now in the current script that we have here, this will just return true or false, but we're going to change that functionality to actually return the full path to the profile picture that was being uploaded so that we can then use that to actually insert into the database. So first of all, we go over to this function and then update it. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. We check if the user is actually uploading a file, so there will be a temporary file. We check that first. Next, we want to get the extension of the file. I'm going to say extension should be equal to path info. It's a PHP function that we can use to get the name of the file, the extension of the file, and different information about the file that is being uploaded. Okay, so I'm going to just grab this, put a file here, and then change this to name. Put a comma and then specify what I want to get. So what we're looking for is actually the extension. I can put the constant here for, or use the predefined PHP constant. So we're going to say path info extension, that's actually equal to 4. And then next here, we want to actually change the way that we're doing it currently. You see here, we are forcing it to be JPEG and then using the username. But right now we are using the extension of the file the user is uploading. If you want to use the name of the file that the user is uploading, then you can actually just go ahead and use that. You can use the file name, which is this, okay? And then no need to actually do this line. Okay, so you can actually just take this and store it here. Okay, so the avatar name will be equal to the file name. But what I want to do is actually generate. So I'm going to say file name is going to be equal to username. I'm going to use MD5 to encrypt the micro time. This way I'll always get a unique value. Okay, so MD5 to encrypt micro time will give me a unique value each time that I run it. And then I'm going to concatenate that with the extension. So it's going to be dot extension. So this is totally up to you how you want to store the file name, but I prefer to do it this way. Right, so we can then change the path now to be upload slash, and then we put the file name. So right here, instead of checking anything inside of this if statement, I'm going to just completely remove the if statement. Okay, and then terminate this statement here. Right, so on line 245, we move the image to the location that we've specified here on line 244, and then we're just going to return the path. Right, so we return the path from this function. Here we are going to return false. So which means if they are not uploading any image, we just return false. But if they uploaded any image and we moved it to a path, we just return that path to wherever this function is being called. All right, so we can go back now to our past profile script, and then we need to make some major changes here. Okay, first thing that we need to take note of is we are only going to be doing this when we know that the user is actually uploading a profile picture. So I'm going to call this out. I'm going to say if avatar is not equal to null. Okay, you remember at the top here, previously we have checked to see if the user is uploading a profile picture. So we say avatar should be equal to the file that the user is uploading, otherwise avatar should be equal to none. Right, so we're going to do a check here using that variable avatar. If it is not equal to null, we want to create a separate SQL statement here. Okay, so I'll just paste this function here first, and then we want to create a different SQL statement here. So basically we're going to do all of this inside of there. Okay, so move this here. So if avatar is not equal to null, we want to add one more parameter here. So this is going to be avatar should be equal to a placeholder avatar. All right, so now that we have our statement here, the next thing that we need to do is actually check, just to be on a safe side, if what we are getting from the avatar part, we're going to move this to the top, move it here. So we're going to check if we are not getting a value from here, so that we don't override the default value in the database. We are going to set it to be equal to the default path. It's going to be equal to upload slash default dot jpg. Okay, and then the last thing that we need to do here is actually to add it to the execute statement. So we're going to say avatar equal to the avatar part. Okay, so that is if the user is actually uploading a profile picture. Otherwise, when the user is just updating their username or their email only, we want to move this statement execution down. Okay, so we have a statement here, we prepare it. Okay, if this is true, we're going to override the statement and then prepare the statement here on line 80 and then execute it. Else, we are going to execute the statement that was prepared on line 69. All right, so now let's try this out on the browser. Take note that we have already changed the functionality here. We are now getting the avatar from the database. Then I'm going to just open this so that we can see the files that are being uploaded. All right, let me delete demo. So come over to the browser now. Unexpected error file name on line 242 inside of utilities. Okay, so I want to believe that I missed a semicolon there. Okay, so that's true. Anyway, these days I just keep missing semicolons everywhere. All right, so let's do a refresh. Got it working. We are now going to update the profile picture and then also update the name to demo. Okay, so we just leave the name part first. Choose the profile picture. So profile updated. We have the image here. Check our database. And now we have the path to that image stored in our database. If we check our code editor, you can see that we have the file here that was uploaded. So let's now change the username. Come here, edit profile, change the username, and then updated, view profile. We can still get the profile picture to display correctly. All right, so one more thing that you want to do if you are concerned about storage is to actually delete the old profile picture when the user upload a new one. So once there is a new profile picture updated, delete the old one. Okay, so that means that you need to do some little tweak to the script inside of past profile. Scroll down to the part where we are uploading the profile picture. So right here at the top, line 65 right now, we can create a query to get the profile picture of the user. All right, so we can say query equal to select avatar from users, where ID is equal to placeholder for ID, old avatar statement be equal to db prepare our query. Once we prepare our query, we're going to execute it. Old avatar statement, execute, pass it an array. This should just be the ID, which should be equal to the ID that we collected from the form. So it should be hidden ID. All right, so if we get a record from here, so we're going to say if rs is equal to old avatar fetch. So if this is true, that means we are getting a record from the query. So we're going to say old avatar should be equal to rs of avatar. So this way we store the path to the old profile picture inside of here. All right, so we can then come here. After we execute the statement, we have already set a new avatar path. What we can then do is to unset the previous one. So we're going to say if is set old avatar. If old avatar is set, we want to unlink it. So we're going to say unlink old avatar. Okay, so this is actually going to delete the old profile picture once the new one has been updated. Okay, so let's quickly test this out and see if the script works correctly. So we're going to add a new profile picture now. We're going to be using this. Then upload it. It has been uploaded. View profile. We have the new one. Let's check in our text editor. See that we have just one here. The other one has been deleted. All right, so this is how simple it is. Play with it and see what you can come up with.